Hey, 7th grade. This is your language lesson for Wednesday, April the 15th. Lesson 3 is due, and lesson 4 is due on Thursday, April the 16th. So let's look at a few answers on lesson 3, looking especially at participles. Participles are verb forms that act as adjectives. So let's just grade some of lesson 3. Make sure you're finished with lesson 3 before you listen to the answers here. Number 1 on page 8 of lesson 3, participles. Underline the participles. Verb forms, words that look like verbs that are actually adjectives. Number 1, he designed deep sea exploring. Exploring should be underlined. What kind of equipment? It's not talking about going exploring, but it's talking about exploring equipment. Exploring, and they were searching for sunken. Sunken should be underlined. It is also a participle, sunken ships. Number 3, Mom sent some frosted. Frosted underlined, saying what kind of cookies. And, did you get this one? Compound, participle, chocolate covered. Chocolate covered should be underlined. And that's modifying, saying what kind of peanuts. Number 5, attached. Attached papers, attached should be underlined. Participle phrases. This is the participle, and any modifiers, adjectives, could be prepositional phrases that go with it. Number 7, you should have underlined smirking mischievously, circle smirking, and put an arrow to Ryan. Number 9, underline stolen 2 weeks ago. Stolen should be circled with an arrow to car. Just look at a few more here in this lesson. Number 13, has been is the verb, and that is simply being. Simply saying what state of being Grandpa is. He has been in the hospital. Number 17, you're supposed to underline adverbs. Adverbs underlined. Greatly is an adverb. Rainfall in Australia varies greatly. They receive nearly. Nearly is an adverb. And when do they receive that rain? Annually. So greatly, nearly, and annually should be underlined in number 17. Number 19, you're supposed to put parentheses around adverb phrases, prepositional phrases that act as adverbs. And put an arrow to the word they modify, and then say whether or not the word they modify is a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. Number 19, in parentheses, you should have on the first day. And that arrow goes all the way to the verb became. So you put an arrow to became, and on top of became have a little V for verb. Of the 20th century is an adjective phrase. You should not have that in parentheses. That's describing the day. So just the on the first day, arrow to became, and verb on top of became. What kind of sentence is number 27? Number 27, what kind of sentence is that? Figure out the kind of sentence. Find the subjects and the verbs, any subordinating conjunctions, relative pronouns if it's a complex sentence, prepositional phrases, figure out where they go, and then diagram it. So in Australia, January is the hottest month of the year, and July is the coolest. So what kind of sentence did we decide this is? 27 is a compound sentence. Go through the sentence, figure some things out. In Australia is a prepositional phrase. It is an adverb phrase saying when it is. So it will be diagrammed under the verb is. So is a verb. January is the subject. The hottest are adjectives modifying month, which is a what? Month is a what? Month is a predicate nominative. Of the year is talking about, is an adjective phrase underneath month. And then you have and. And is connecting the two parts of the compound sentence. July is the subject, is the verb, and coolest is a predicate adjective. Should look something like this. January is month. In Australia, the hottest of the year, right? Then you have your conjunction and sitting down here, connecting the second part of the compound sentence. July is predicate adjective coolest, the coolest. That is number 27. Check that out a little bit. See how you did. Lesson 4. Lesson 4 is due on Thursday. And this is about appositives and appositive phrases. What is an appositive? An appositive is a noun that follows another noun or pronoun and renames it without a linking verb. So it can rename any noun. The noun can be the subject, the noun could be a direct object, object of the preposition. If there is a noun that follows a noun or pronoun, renames it without a linking verb, that is an appositive. For example, Glenn, that man in the red coat, is my brother. Okay? Glenn is my brother. Glenn is brother. So brother is a predicate nominative, right? Glenn is the subject. But then Glenn, the man in the yellow coat, that is an appositive phrase. That man in the yellow coat, positive phrase, and the appositive is man. Man renames brother. Brother and man are the same, and there's no linking verb in there. So let's just look at a few here. Just look at the examples on the top of page 12. This is my friend Karen. Karen is the appositive. Friend is the noun that's being renamed. Friend and Karen are the same people. No linking verb in there. Karen, the second one, is the appositive. We sisters. Watch those pronouns. So you have a pronoun we, and then you verify who the we is. We sisters. Sisters is the appositive. All right? Cooter, an exiled Iraqi interpreter. Now there you have an appositive phrase. An exiled Iraqi interpreter, and the appositive is the interpreter. So you would underline an exiled Iraqi interpreter and encircle interpreter if you're supposed to circle the appositives. So let's just look at the even ones of 1 through 6. Underline the appositive phrase, if there's a phrase, there's not always, and circle the appositives. Number 2, the librarian helped us girls find interesting and helpful books about sewing. What is the appositive? And here's one of those pronouns. Helped us. Us would be the direct object, and girls would rename us. So girls is the appositive. Circle, there's no phrase. Number 4, the head of the Australian government is British monarch Queen Elizabeth II. What is the appositive? What is a word or name that renames another one without a linking verb? So you have at the very end of the sentence, Queen Elizabeth II should be circled. That's renaming monarch. Number 6, did you read the article about Tasmania, the island state of Australia? Did you read about Tasmania? What is Tasmania? Tasmania is a state. But then you have that whole phrase, the island state of Australia, underlined, and circle state. Remember how to diagram these. You need to diagram number 7 and number 9. Let's diagram number 8. So look at number 8 while I erase some of this. Find the subject, the verb, direct object, predicate nominative, whatever it has, and where is the appositive. And you can work on this diagram for a little bit here while I get ready. Find the appositive and see if you can remember how positives get diagrammed. This is lesson 4, number 8. Many tourists visit the Great Barrier Reef, one of Australia's biggest attractions. What's the subject? Tourist. What do the tourists do? They visit. That's the verb. What gets visited? Direct object, Great Barrier Reef. You have many under tourist. The under Great Barrier Reef. And then where is the one? The Great Barrier Reef and one are the same thing. So one is the appositive. Many tourists visit. Tourists, many of them visit direct object, Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef. And then you have the appositive phrase. One of Australia's biggest attractions. One of Australia's biggest attractions. So one is the appositive. You put an appositive on the same line as the noun or pronoun that it modifies, that it renames. So Great Barrier Reef and one are the same thing. So that is where this is the appositive. A-P-P. And then the phrase gets diagrammed with that. Of Australia's biggest attractions. Of attractions. One of Australia's. All right, this is mainly to show the positive and the appositive phrase. Okay. Look at those even numbers that we did again. Number 2, the librarian helped us. Your subject would be librarian. Verb would be helped. Us would be the direct object. And the girls would go with the direct object. So that would be just like this. Okay, direct object with the appositive. Number 4, the head of Australia's government is the British monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. So in this one you would have head is the subject, is the verb, monarch would be predicate nominative, and Queen Elizabeth II would go in parentheses after the predicate nominative monarch. Did you read the article? You did read article. Oh, there you would have a prepositional phrase. About Tasmania. You did read. Article would be a direct object. About Tasmania would be a prepositional phrase. And next to Tasmania, on the line of Tasmania, in parentheses, would be state. And then under state, you have the adjectives in the prepositional phrase, the island of Australia. Okay? So check those out. Make sure you know how to diagram a positive phrases. All right, this lesson is due on Wednesday, and I think I will let you go with that.